Chef Mark Timms, Professor David Stahler, Jr., the music of Lambsbread. And now, from Alumni Auditorium, here's Tim.
Hey, wow. Nice. Very nice audience. Very nice. Wow. What a great, oh, shut off just like that. People at home are going to think it's like on a switch or something. It's not a live audience, it's just all piped in. Welcome to the show, everybody! We have got a terrific show for you tonight, and we're going to go ahead and get things started right off, and we want to start it off with our picture of the week, which of course is brought to us by Parent Studios. And I've got the picture right here, right in front of us here. This picture right here comes to us from a much warmer climate. Oh, whoops, I got the wrong thing. What a way to start the show. I'm already on to something different. Our picture of the week comes to us from a much warmer climate. These folks sent this in to us from 7 Mile Beach in the Grand Caymans. Take a look at that. That's why I'm messed up right now, because look at where that came from. 7 Mile Beach, Grand Cayman Islands. Thanks to the Duzablon family for sending this in. You know, if you have a picture, you want to send it in, incorporate Late Night Saturday, send it in to us, go to our website, latenightsaturday.com, and we'll go ahead and put it on the air for you. All right, there we go. This is why we're so excited. Tonight, our musical guest is well-known reggae band Lambsbread. Yes! And our guest is from the Northeast Kingdom. He is author David Stahler, Jr. Now, speaking of the Northeast Kingdom, it's time to do our misnamed wedding couples. And this week's misnamed wedding couple comes to us from Brownington, Vermont. I've got their picture right up here on the screen for you. They're from Brownington, Vermont, and it's very fitting for this time of year because look at the hyphenated name. Say hello to Mr. and Mrs. Moore Sapp. Yep, but there seems to be something else in this picture, and it matches what is in this next column right here under the birth section right here. Say hello to little Isabella Sapp. So in this case, is this misnamed wedding couples or just misplanned? I don't know. All right, also from the same paper, and I cannot believe this, this is unbelievable. From the same paper, take a look at this headline right here. This is from the town of Albany. It reads, Catamount sightings reported in Albany. Catamounts in Albany, Vermont. Sometimes they pronounce it Albany. I don't know why. Now, this is what the report says. I know what I saw, reported Mary Davis. It was a brown that you don't much see of, and it kind of had a smushy face. Now, Mary Davis, are you sure that this was a catamount you saw? Because when you say brown and squishy face, you just described Northeast Kingdom resident Luis Guzman. Yes. All right. Mark Timms is the executive chef of the Vermont National Country Club, and on May 21st, along with 5 other area restaurants, will host a dinner to benefit kids in the Children's Oncology Wing of the Vermont Children's Hospital. Won't you please welcome Mark Timms? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
So we've got this event coming up, May 21st. You've roped me into it.
I have.
And I'm going to be one of the waiters at the event. And we also have Sharon Meyer from Channel 3 who's going to do it, and Dr. Lewis First from the Children's Hospital. Right. And you're doing this event because?
Because there's a little girl called Betty who lives in Burlington, was diagnosed with leukemia. She's been in the paper, and I have children myself. And so it broke my heart, and I want to raise money for her and for the other children in the hospital so that their stay is a little bit more tolerable,
right.
in the ward. So the thing is that with Betty, we want to help out with our bills and make sure that there's no more anxiety with the parents with regards to bills.
So you have a crazy menu planned. Whoa, whippets. So I'm kidding. we're doing. Yeah, and we're talking about children. We're going to do shots here, obviously. So I don't know where the show's gone to. But anyways, you have a tremendous menu that is planned for it. It's $75 per person, but the proceeds are all going to Betty and to other families. How about that? Isn't that wonderful, folks? So, what are we going to make today?
I am doing what's called a molecular dish. It's a basic molecular dish, and the principle comes from El Bulli restaurant in Spain. And what I'm doing is I'm making a carrot juice soda, homemade, with a amaretto and peach sorbet and a foam of watermelon. So hopefully this will work.
You haven't tried this yet?
No.
No. So this is the carrot juice that you're pouring?
This is the carrot juice soda pop right here.
Soda pop?
Yeah.
Yes, because I often buy cans of carrot juice soda pop.
There we go.
Did you get that ice cream scoop from Alexandra's in Newport?
No, I got it from Kittredge.
Okay, good. Now, what is that doing right now? Because it's kind of...
It's making a flow. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted the flavor to infuse with the carrot juice.
Okay.
And then I'm going to finish with a little bit of this. And there we have it. A beautiful, healthy carrot juice soda.
Okay. Oh, they can see that okay. That looks great. All right.
Try that.
Try it. All right.
And Steve's going to make a few more for the audience.
Oh, would you folks like some? All right. While I'm enjoying this, I can see that the Super Duper Doppler Sky Tracker camera is on the move right now. It's looking for an audience member, so make some noise right now if you'd like to go ahead and win a prize. Let's find out exactly what it's going to land on. And it has already landed on someone right now, so that means we turn to the lovely Miss Jen Jen to go ahead and spin that wheel. Spin it hard. Oh my God. That's very good. And look at that. It has landed on Pauline's Restaurant. And here's Jamie Pauley to tell you exactly what you've won.
It's dinner for two at Pauline's Cafe and Restaurant, Shelburne Road, South Burlington. Featuring their famous Maine crab cakes for over 27 years. Visit paulinescafe.com for sample menus. It's a delicious prize valued at $60. All right, Tim Kavanagh.
Thank you very much, Jamie Pauley. Plus, we're going to throw in a jar of Jed's Maple Mud, and I didn't grab it because I'm drinking over here. It's natural and made right here in Vermont. You can find out at jedsmaple.com. Be sure to listen to Classic Hits Cool 105 for more details about the show. We'll be right back with more Late Night Saturday. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hey, tonight's guest is a teacher first at Linden Institute and author second, here to tell us about Other Space, which is the final book of a science fiction trilogy for young adults. Please welcome David Stahler, Jr. Isn't that fun?
Great.
Did you have a good trip over from Linden? You're from Linden. Wheelock is where you live.
Right. Wheelock. It was a beautiful afternoon. For a change, it was sunny and warm, and we still have snow, though.
Do you have?
You guys are starting to green up over here, but we still have snow.
No, a lot of snow still, or?
Oh, I got about a foot in my front yard.
Is that right?
But the backside's starting to melt.
Do you live a mile up in the air or something?
Pretty much.
Wow, no kidding. Now, well, Wheelock is close to Sheffield Heights, though, right?
That's right. Yep, not too far.
Which is the highest elevation of Interstate 91.
That's right.
I know my stuff.
He knows his Northeast Kingdom.
Yes, I do. And it's a great area. And you are a fifth generation of the Northeast Kingdom.
Fifth generation of my family to live in the Northeast Kingdom, yep.
And your mom is from Newport?
My mom is from Newport, yep.
What's your mom's name?
Rena Stahler, but her maiden name was Moykins. She was one of 13 kids.
So, I went to school with some Moykinses.
Yep. You know, in fact, there's about a 50-50 chance that we're related.
Who, you and me?
Yeah, exactly. I'm afraid to tell you.
Really? It must be the hairline.
That's right.
Now, how is that so?
Well, basically, you know, my mom's one of 13 kids, and she has a million cousins, and it seems like every time I went up to Newport, I'd run into somebody and think, oh, you know, we're second cousins or third cousins or whatever, so.
That explains a lot, because my parents are always saying that our family tree resembles a telephone pole. No branches. Oh, it runs deep up there. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about these books, because this is number 3 of a trilogy. That's right. So Other Space. Let's talk about the first two, because you had quite some success with the first 2 books, and you've got this third one coming out.
The first book I actually wrote for my thesis. I did my thesis down at Dartmouth, and I did a creative writing thesis, and I worked with the novelist Craig Nova, who's also a novelist, lives down in Putney, Vermont, so he's a Vermont author. And when I finished, when I graduated, he said, well, I think this has got a shot. So he suggested I send it into his agency down in New York, and I sent it in, and I kind of forgot all about it, and months went by, and then all of a sudden I get a call out of the blue from an agent there who had read it and really loved it. And he said to me, he said, so do you have any other ideas? And I said, sure. And then, of course, after I got off the phone, I was like, uh-oh,
Because you locked into a 4-book deal at that point, right?
I did. What happened was I did develop an idea for another book that actually is set in the Northeast Kingdom. And that was my second book, A Gathering of Shades. But I also thought when I did the trilogy that, I had kind of set it up so that it actually worked out really well to break it down into multiple volumes. So it ended up kind of naturally turning into a trilogy. So I ended up getting a 4-book deal.
Now, one of the books, and I loved your quote after you signed the 4-book deal, because you said, now I have to sit down and write the damn things.
Yeah, that's right. Well, kind of all of a sudden, I was so excited, and because it was sort of this dream come true. I was so excited, and then all of a sudden, the reality of all the work ahead of me. But it actually, it's been great. The school I worked for, Linden Institute, was very supportive. I took a sabbatical for 1 year, and that helped me kind of get my bearings and get caught up. And I teach part-time and write part-time, so they've been really wonderful and very supportive.
And teaching is really your true passion.
It is. This is my 14th year of teaching.
Yeah.
I went to Middlebury College, and I started teaching right out of college when I was 22, and I've been teaching ever since. And I think of myself as a teacher who happens to write, as opposed to a writer who also teaches. Sometimes, writers, they teach because they need to, but for me, really, I love teaching most of all.
I think that's great. Don't you folks think that's great? You head the English department at Linden Institute, is that correct?
That's right.
So, what age levels are you dealing with at school?
This year, I mostly have seniors. The last few years, I've mostly had juniors and seniors, but I've taught all levels. I've taught freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, and I've taught the most advanced students. I've taught some of the lower level students. So I've seen it all, and I've worked with them all, and they're all great.
Is there a favorite age group?
No, not necessarily. Each age group has its own, there's things about it that each one offers that you really love working with them.
I would think they've got to think it's pretty cool that their teacher you're an award-winning author. You're not just an author, you're an award-winning author. So they must think that's neat, and they must also be inspired by that too.
I don't know. I think so. It definitely adds kind of another dimension to the classroom that I hadn't experienced before. But one of the great things about being an author who writes young adult novels is being able to work with teenagers every day, and they certainly challenge me, and they inspire me, and they make me think, and I don't think I could do it without them, really.
They keep you on your toes.
They sure do.
You had one book that has sold quite a few copies. What was the title of that book?
True Sight, which was the first book in the trilogy. Yeah, it sold about 75,000 copies.
75,000 copies, which I thought was a big number until you told me how big your family was, because I think they all just bought a...
Yeah, they each bought a copy, so...
and there be it.
So an audience.
So the trilogy, what happens after the trilogy? I know you're already working on another one, Sancho and
Dawn. Yep, that's right. I'm just finishing. In fact, this week I've been working on the final chapters. I'm cruising into the finish. And this one is actually set in northern Vermont, like my second book. And it's about these two teenage best friends, who are sort of goofballs. And they get cast as the lead roles in the school musical, which is they're doing Man of La Mancha.
Okay.
And the thing is, on the ridge over the town, there are about 20 wind towers, and the character who gets cast as Don Quixote has started to develop some problems, and he's kind of taking the role of Don Quixote and really going into it very deeply. And of course, the wind towers tie into it. Being from the Northeast Kingdom, wind towers is a big deal up there.
Yep.
It's kind of controversial issue, so trying to work that in, and it's really a story about friendship, though, and also about mental illness and how that affects teenagers. And
so that's what's coming up next after the trilogy.
Hopefully. That one's not under contract. I finished my contract, so hopefully this one will go. I feel pretty good about that.
What age group, what's the best age group for reading your books? Because I know you're geared towards young adults.
It's young adult fiction is one of those categories that, I don't know, I understand the idea behind it because they're basically books in which the protagonists, the main characters, are usually young people, teenagers. But I've always felt that a good story is a good story, and it doesn't matter, who the age of the protagonist. And adults can read the book and enjoy it. Younger kids can. So it's it's just I try to write good stories, and some are science fiction, and some are sort of more horror novels, and some are like this last one, sort of set in the real world. And
I like the idea of the science fiction tied in with it too, because that appeals to kids as well. And Absolutely. I've got a 10-year-old son who I'm sure is really going to enjoy this. What's the website so people can find out more about you?
Well, you can find me at the HarperCollins website, or you can go to davidstahlerjr.com, and that will bring you to HarperCollins, and you can find out more about my books there.
davidstahlerjr.com. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
We got a lot more Late Night Saturday right after this. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Tonight's musical guest continues to enjoy a solid reputation in the Vermont and New England musical scene, built on 20 years' experience as being one of the most well-known and loved reggae artists. Please welcome Lambsbread.
Well, this one called Stoking and Lambsbread, not joking. No, 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 no. Getting ready to party round about 8. Don't wanna be too early, don't want to be too late. The dance floor is empty, but they're digging the groove. Nobody wants to be the one to make the first move, but it's got to get stoking. We need it stoking, smoking and stoking, and then the party is right. Got to have it stoking. We need it stoking, smoking and stoking, and then the party is right. It's all right. When you come out to party, you want to laugh and dance. Some come a seeking the chance, looking for romance. No matter what you wear, no matter what you got, you don't stand a chance if the party is no hot. That's why it's got to get stoking. We need it stoking, smoking and stoking, and then the party is right. To have it stoking. Man, I'm not a joking. We need it stoking, and then the party is right. It's all right. Party, you want to laugh and dance, and some come seeking the chance, looking for romance. No matter what you wear, no matter what you got, you don't stand a chance. The party is no hot. That's why it's got to get stoking. We need it stoking, smoking and stoking, and then the party is right. Got to have it stoking. Man, I'm not a joking. We need it stoking, and then the party is right. It's all right. All right. All right. Well, it's all right. Well, this one called Stoking and Lambsbread, not joking. No, 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 no. Let's start up the dance floor. Let's start up the party too. Let's start up the dance floor. Late night with Kavanagh too.
All right, I'm standing here with Lambsbread. They're a tremendous crew. And welcome, Bobby.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim.
20 plus years you guys have been doing this.
Yes, we have. We're fortunate to be known as Vermont's best and most known reggae band.
Not just Vermont, New England.
New England, yes, exactly.
And you've traveled, that's right.
Thank you.
And you've done some traveling in those 20 years.
Oh, yes, we have. We've been, well, just about in every corner of New England. Lambsbread has played. We've been out to the Midwest. We've been all over the place, you know. I mean, as far as the way as Pensacola, Florida.
Nice. There you go.
You know, I mean, we're, of course, we spent some time and we did we put in some time down in Jamaica.
I bet you did.
Channel 1 studio.
Some hard time.
Yes.
All right. Introduce us to the guys real quick.
Well, first of all, you know, we're the founders of the reggae band. My brother Dennis on the drums right there, Dennis Hackney.
Dennis.
All right. On percussion right here, we have Victor Twiggs. Victor Twiggs. Bobby Duncan is on guitar. Bobby Duncan. And Victor Veve, one of the best keyboard players right here in Vermont. You know that. Victor Veve. All right.
I'm looking at Victor and I'm thinking of that old Sesame Street song, one of these things is not like the other. Okay.
He's our brother from another mother. You know?
He is. So tell us about, you got a CD that you're working on. Tell us real quickly about that.
We're so excited. We just completed a brand new Lambsbread CD due out for release this summer. It's going to be called One Sweet Day. We're really excited about the tracks, and we're just, I mean, we're bubbling about it.
And where can folks go to find out? What's your website?
www.lambsbreadband.com. That's our official website. It'll tell you about...
tell you everything all you need to know about them. All right, great. We're going to have you guys play us out. Thanks to Lambsbread for being here. Also to Chef Mark Timms and David Stahler Jr. Coming up next week on the show, author Anna Post, plus musical guest, the Lowell Thompson Band. Hey, folks, remember to support local artists like the folks you've seen here tonight. We'll see you next time on Late Night Saturday.
Relationships can leave you short, or even broken hearted.